I know not everyone uses Twitter. This is Twitter X. Okay, so there's two options. You've got For You and Following. When I click on Following, I see people that I follow. I don't follow a lot of people on Twitter, under 1,000, and I'm followed by under 1,000 people on Twitter as well. Sam Taylor's a guy I troll. He's an English guy that lives in Scotland. And all he can do is tell you how crap Scotland is, how skint Scotland is, how shite Scotland is, and he must, I presume he's paid to do this. But anyway, so when I go from Following to For You, check this out, next Sam Taylor, let's get the next one up. Michael Mara SMP. Now, admittedly, I have left comments on this guy's posts, basically saying, why does your party support genocide in Gaza, etc. He's a Labour politician. However, on Twitter, I have blocked hundreds upon hundreds of Labour activists, Labour MPs, anything to do with the Labour Party. As far as I'm concerned, all these people are scabs, especially if they're Scottish, right? Considering what the Labour Party's up to, and then going just now, throw them in the bin. So, right, we've had Sam Taylor, who's a paid unionist role. This Michael Marder guy, I have interacted with him, so you could understand why the algorithm would throw him back up. What have we got next? Who's this? That's an advert, right? Well, come on, computer. Sarah Boyack, MSP. That's another Labour person. All I do is leave condescending comments in the comment sections of any Labour people's threads that I do. I don't go into For You very often, but I basically just rip them a new butthole. These people are disgusting, you know, they're filth. They're the least amongst us and should be treated as such. So that's two posts, an advert from unionists and two Labour trolls. That's a wee thing. So I follow Mike Daly, that's why that's appeared. Dr. Zulub Ahmed, I believe he's a Labour guy as well. Right, I'm not getting this when I'm going to Following, just the For You. Right, let's have another look. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of the SNP. When Alex Salmond was running the party, I don't think we realised how good politicians we had. This guy's another Labour activist. So we've basically had every second or third post is from the Labour Party. Who's this? Go visit with. Is this guy a Labour guy? Let's have a wee look. Every second or third post, if it's not an advert, is from, who's this guy? George Mitchell. Scottish Labour. Right, so where am I going with this? When I go into the For You thing, it's just Labour people. On YouTube, if I watch things about engines or bass guitars or construction work, YouTube usually throws more of the same at me after I've watched 4 or 5 videos. That makes sense? Why, when I've blocked hundreds of Labour Party activists, Labour Party MPs, when I go into For You on Twitter, I'm consistently bombarded with these people. Either Twitter's algorithms are absolute crap, which I can't imagine because this is one of the most cutting edge media platforms on the planet, or the Labour Party are paying an absolute fortune to bombard us with their bollocks. They are run by a guy who's obviously in the pockets of the Israeli lobbyist, Keir Starmer. He's a Mossad guy. They're spending a fortune on this. But the thing that's really concerning me, in 2014, during the Scottish independence referendum, I was on Facebook a lot, didn't really use Twitter, but they were always, all the unionist posts were always going on about the silent majority, and I was out in the streets. I know other people who were activists. There was no silent majority in 2014. I'm 100% convinced that the Scottish independence referendum was rigged using the postal ballots. I can't remember the details, but if you look in the numbers, the postal ballots were the exact opposite of what the normal ballots were when everybody was going to the polling stations and voted. I'm sure the election was rigged to the high heavens. And I think what's happening here with the like following, I don't have any of this stuff that's totally different. It's just my mates and stuff that I'm interested in. Before you just post upon post from the Labour Party. I'm convinced the general election, this is tinfoil hat stuff, but bear with me. I'm convinced the general election this year, they're preparing us for another rigged vote. The Tory party and the Labour party are basically the same thing. They're going to do the exact same crap, aren't they? Steal Scotland resources, lie to us, spend all our money on nuclear weapons, fund wars in Israel, Yemen, Ukraine, while the people of Scotland are sitting in cold houses, unable to put their heatings on. Don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of the SNP. I think we do have a bit of a chance if Alex Salmond has started a new political party called the Alba Party. They're on the fringes just now, but they're making a lot of sense. It's a lot of the die-hard people who were keen SNP activists back in the day and good SNP politicians that are now joined the Alba Party. I honestly think we should get behind them and help them as much as we can. But this is a word of warning to people in the UK and people in Scotland specifically. The next election, they're going to tell us there was a landslide towards Labour because the Tories were crap. There's going to be a landslide towards Labour because Labour and Tories are the same thing, and it doesn't matter which one of the two of them gets in power. The policies are the exact same. But for Scotland, watch yourselves. Be careful. They're about to rip the carpet out from under our feet. I know the SNP are crap, and I know there's going to be a lot of people not wanting to vote for them, me included. However, we need to box clever. Where would I put my money just now? The Alba Party are making some good noises. I would find it really, really hard to vote SNP. Maybe we should help the Alba Party. But anyway, one way or another, if and when Labour get in with these massive majorities all over Scotland and all over the rest of the UK, I don't believe for 1 minute they've actually got the majorities. When Keir Starmer appeared in Glasgow a few weeks ago, he was nearly lynched walking through Glasgow Central train station. I'll stick that video in the link below. Box clever, people. It's easy to be apathetic because the SNP are crap, but Scotland's future is not based on the SNP. Alrighty. There's politics, isn't it? Right, sorry about political uploads. Nobody will watch these on my YouTube channel anyway, but bless the watches. Right, bye bye.